Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Medabots Rokusho's post-game. In the last part, we got our Partsun Rally piece here at Ninja Park, and now I'm actually using the Wings of the Wind to fly back to Ninja Park even though we're still within it, because that's how we access the house in the top right of the area. This is the only way you can get here, and it's a pretty interesting place to go to. Who do you want? You too? Do you want to rabotle me too? Come to take my Medaparts, have you? He's a very interesting fight in that, like the Phantom Renegade fight back in the Metalink, what you're fighting here depends on your version. Here in Rokusho, it's 3 Rokushos. Over in Metabee, it's 3 Metabees. And this is a very worthwhile thing. It's completely optional, obviously, so it's technically a side quest, but it's gonna be worth it. Since we're fighting through Rokushos, though, it's not a very hard fight. Very low armor. Grapple Trap can basically completely neuter this fight, as can counterattack, especially if you can get it on more than one person. Scout is honestly probably their most threatening thing, because it'll raise the rate of success. And even with our current stats, that'd be very dangerous, because Peepo Hammer can still do a lot of damage. Not as much as the BB Hammer that its upgrade is, or the Gold Hammer, but still enough. Either way, speed up theme for this part is the Maverick boss theme from Mega Man X Command Mission, the normal boss theme. I don't really talk about Command Mission enough because I don't really want to talk too much about that until I eventually get to that game. But man, its soundtrack is something else, man. Either way, 3 Rokushos, nothing too intimidating. However, it doesn't quite end with this battle. We'll go over why in a moment. Also, if it's not entirely obvious by the timestamp, we got a bit of a longer part today, and you can probably tell just based off the title. And for beating him, we do not get any Medaparts. That is not until after the fight, where you get the full set of a random Medabots parts. I got the Octoclan parts here. However, I believe you can only get parts available in your version. Give me back my Medabots! And then he fights you again. This time I ended up getting the Magdo Snake set of parts. However, it's the 3rd time, because we are fighting him a 3rd time, that's pretty special. Let's bow rattle! I won't lose till I win! That makes no sense. Upon beating him the 3rd time, we get the entirety of the Ikki set. Ikki is a Medabot we've heard mentioned before. It's what Hachiro stole from the Meta Shop back when we were first there. And this is the only way I think you can get it in the game, along with 10 Robo medals. I remember 6 years ago, I lost my Medaparts to a boy just like you. Oh, so you lost it to Henry, huh? That's gotta suck. Either way, we are now done in Ninja Park. We never need to come back here, though obviously if you're going for completion, it's good to grind around here just to get the extra parts. And as for where our last Partsun Rally piece is, if you remember the hints that we went back over in like part 1 of the post-game or so, one directly mentioned, or at least alluded to, I forget the exact text it used, the area where we met Kenny downstream in Odoro. And that's where we need to head. Nothing has changed down here otherwise, though. There's no extra bonuses, no new Medabots to fight. It's entirely the same. In fact, honestly, I try to stay out of here as much as I can because this place kind of gives me nightmares to when I got stuck here as a kid. Hey, Kenny, how you been? If it isn't Ikki. Hello, Kenny. I came here to ask you about the Partsun Rally. I wonder what Natsuko's doing in Medaropolis now. She's probably hard at work. That's right. Would you go check on how Natsuko's doing for me? I want to hear how she is. Well, we've actually met Natsuko before. She works at the Medabots Corporation over in Medaropolis. However, you cannot use the Wings of the Wind in the downstream Mount Odoro area. You need to head back up to the main Mount Odoro and then fly from there. So let's fly on over to the Medabots Corporation. I find it odd also that this is the only time you actually end up coming here in postgame. You think they actually would have hidden something in here, but no. Either way, we talked to Natsuko before. She's in the top left of this room where we met the scientist earlier. Good afternoon, Miss Natsuko. Good afternoon, Ikki. Oh, Ikki, you left your bag open. There we go, all better. Oh, what's that kimono? I got this from Kenny, but I figured that You mean my grandmother, right? Yeah, I met her at her house in Matadoro. Oh, it was you. She wrote it in her letter. I also heard about you from Dr. Aki, the brave young boy who helped out Yanaki, right? Thank you, Ikki. I wouldn't say brave. I don't get that many chances to go home. If you could, go over to my grandmother's house. Could you give her this? I would appreciate it. And we get a letter. So now we have to go all the way back there. Needless to say, I'm going to be jump cutting there after we leave the Medabots Corporation, mostly because I like this song and I want to hear more of it. And we'll never hear it again. Either way, let's deliver that letter to Canny. Also, I recommend putting on some multi-legged parts. Canny! I saw Natsuko and she gave me a letter for you. Oh, thank you. Was Natsuko doing alright? Yeah, pretty well. Yeah, she says hi. I see. About the Partsun Rally. Oh, yes, I know about it. I'm holding some Medaparts, actually. Well, then, my little one took those Medaparts and is probably playing outside. If you can get them away from my little one, then they're yours. Really? Okay. Ah, the little one. We haven't talked to him in a while. How you doing, buddy? Hey, I received some really cool Medaparts from Canny. Those are Medaparts for the Partsun Rally, right? Really? Canny said she was going to give them to me, but they're mine. You won't exchange them with me for something else? Okay, if you win the Meta Road race, then I'll think about it. Is there anyone else? Whoa, what? Me too. And we get to do a Meta Road race, and I swear to God, this one is fixed to only be in the valley area. I remember every single time I've done this, it's been in the valley. And it's another Meta Road race. Thankfully, if I recall at least, this is our last one. And thank God. I was able to confirm slightly in between parts that I believe later Medabots games actually did have different little variations like this. Like, I think one of them had like a dance mini game. I have no way of knowing that to confirm it myself, though, because I was just only looking at the soundtracks. Because in between parts, I was looking for the soundtrack I was going to use the song rather, to use as a fast forward theme this part. And I was hoping to use the battle theme from one of the other Medabots games, but it didn't work out timing-wise, sadly. And gee, big surprise, I won a Meta Road race. It's not like they're easy. Alright, I win! I lost. If you want it that bad, I'll give it to you. And we get the Cherub Leg. Come play with us again. And that is the last Medapart within the Wonder Angel line. And with that also means we have all 12 Medaparts we need for the Partsun Rally, so it's done! So with that done and over with, we should head back to the Meta Shop. However, I should warn you, before you get there, I recommend unequipping any Partsun Rally pieces unless you have multiple Deathwalkers, because you won't be able to trigger the next event if they're not all in your inventory. Also, get some wheel-type legs on. Why? Not bad, Ikki. You guys just had to bother me one more time. Not you again. If you hand over your Medaparts quietly, I won't have to hurt you. You're the one who always ends up getting hurt! Here we go. It's the Baron's turn. Oh yeah, you, Jotaro guy. Yeah, whatever. How dare you, making fun of the Baron again? Yeah. And we get to fight Baron and his Banisher team one last time. And honestly, I probably had the most trouble with this incarnation, even though it's completely unchanged. We're even in the same damn area Meteoropolis we first fought him in. Mostly because I decided to be a bit reckless this time around comparatively, but the strategy is still unchanged. Use Meta Forces on everything aside from maybe the first turn, because as long as you have wheel parts, you probably will reach the middle of the battlefield before any of his Banishers do. Otherwise, just counterattack either yourself or just use Meta Forces. Because of that, this fight can go on for a while, as usual. It kind of makes me wish, after the first fight, they would start interchanging his team with some other Medabots, ones that could actually attack you, and ones that you would have to attack in order to get them out of the way, but then run the risk of accidentally having a counterattack fly back at you. Mind you, I am talking about what's for more or less pretty faithful remake of a Game Boy OG, of an original Game Boy game, I think it was, because I don't think Medarot 2 was on the Game Boy Color. So I can't complain too much because it's just an older designed game, fixed up graphically in a few other ways. I really should see if there are any other fan patches for the other Medarot games aside from the first one, because I do want to play the other games, because I love this game. And from what I've seen of the 3DS ones, they look so much better in terms of everything. Like, you can actually target the parts individually and such. It looks so good. Either way, Baron's out of the way. Again. Cool. Ugh. Baron, hang on. Don't worry, it's just a mail. Baron. Blur. Baron. I'm okay. What a bunch of goofballs. Might as well get going. Yeah, because we're really close, obviously. I do recommend saving and putting on your best two-legged parts for right now, though. Particularly ones that have good boosts with medals, because guess who's back? Koji. Ikki, will you do me the honor of our final battle? No matter who wins or loses, I'm sure to get something out of it. Are you ready? I was hoping you'd say that. God, I love how these guys actually have a friendship blossom. And it's Koji once again, and he's using the Black Ram team again, finally. Nothing has changed from part 1 of the post-game, though. Best way to go about this, grapple trap, and counterattack abilities, while also trying to get as much damage done to them as you can. I didn't bring any grapple trap ability this time around, though, so I'm taking the harder way around this of just doing pure damage. Counterattack is very useful. In fact, I'd honestly suggest equipping on more than one person at this point. But beyond that, just go all out, do your best strategies that fit you, and you should hopefully do well enough. At this point, there's not much advice I can give you for fighting Koji or most of the battles, because we've seen a lot of them so many times already, which is another reason I don't like doing post-games more often than not, because it's usually just a lot more of the same stuff they throw at you. I know I went over this before, but that is my major reason for not doing stuff like the Battle Network post-games. Besides, I don't really usually add anything to the story either, like, I think one of them, like the Battle Network 2 post-game, foreshadows the return of World 3 in Battle Network 3, but I think that's about it. Off the top of my head, at least, because I don't think Battle Network 4 does anything with Nebula and such. Star Force doesn't do anything that foreshadows the future sequels either. Either way, that's our final battle done with Koji, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing too special at this point, but it can still give you trouble just due to the amount of damage that they're throwing out at you. Thanks. That was a lot of fun. You're being too polite again. Let's go to the meeting place. And it's right now. I recommend you save. And I'm going to show you my party again, because I'm going over to the final battle. And it looks kind of familiar, don't it? It looks like my final boss party from episode 28. Or no, 29. There's a reason for that. Congratulations, Ikki. You've done very well. I expected nothing less. Well, you really think so? The award ceremony is starting. First things first, go take a seat, please. Okay. I just need to check on the Medaparts, so I'll hold on to them for you. This is why you need to have all the Medaparts out of your Medabots, other than maybe multiple instances of Deathcrawler. You know, you didn't have to show me all 12 of these, by the way, game. You didn't have to do that. At least they showed up to lose. Actually, convenient that they all show up here. It's like they knew we were going to come over here and win. And it's the man himself once again. The one who has successfully collected all the parts is... Ikki Tenryo! Whoa! And now for the award ceremony! What the? Generic scientist NPC. Okay. Thank you, thank you. You've all gone to so much trouble for me. Who are you? My name is Shiratama. I'm like the real boss of this game. I'm at the same level as a king because I created this game. You're no longer needed. Come and accept the punishment from me. What the heck is he saying? He might have hit his head somewhere. Ikki, beat some sense into him. Oh, you would stand against a king? I believe this guy's technically a staff ghost. True final boss of the game is against Shiratama, and he's using all the Medaparts we collected. A Mega Emperor, a Wonder Angel, and a Bazelga. And this is a troublesome team. Let's go over my parts. First off, Rokusho is looking the exact same way he did basically during the final boss to keep himself immune from any Bazelga's attacks, and not Bazelga, Mega Emperor. That's particularly why the Gorm and Haniwa parts are there. Wonder Angel is the support Medabot for his team. Force Drain, Recovery, and Repair on it. So not only can it heal it, any of its allies, it can also repair their parts and drain your Metaforce. Bazelga's probably the most interesting one, though. Its arms are both sacrifice abilities, so it loses that arm to deal mass damage to us. Its head is Repair, so the entire purpose of it is to do mass damage to us, repair its arms, and then do mass damage again. And I believe, at least the Mega Emperor in this case, also starts with a full Metaforce bar, so our first goal is to use Force Bind, just so we can prevent any of that going towards us. However, that also prevents it from going towards them. Shot Trap is recommended. That's actually why my Queen Medabot, I forget the exact medal, it's in there honestly, has the Red Lace head so I can get Shot Trap out there, just so I can get some extra damage done to the Mega Emperor, because obviously all of its attacks are aim shot type. This can be a pretty tedious fight. I obviously brought along the Sea Legs along this time around just for the increased invasion, like with the final boss fight. But honestly, the strategy is fairly unchanged from the actual Mega Emperor fight or the Baby Blue fight. It's a very focused battle. In fact, this is probably my favorite fight in the game because of what's actually going on in it. In that it's honestly a team I could see real players using. Although, admittedly, basically anyone who plays this game doesn't stick to a single Medabot set per Medabot, obviously, except for the start of the game when you have all Rokusho parts. It's just not very smart because then you can get most of your bases covered. Be patient with this fight. It might take you a couple tries. And try to avoid Berserk attacks in most instances. And just try to survive is my best idea with it, honestly. Shot Trap to get some extra damage in. Berserk, especially with like my Rokusho Medabot, only when you're sure you're not going to get hit by like Sacrifice or something. And Repair otherwise is probably the most annoying thing with this fight. The Wonder Angel and Bazelga, I believe, do have the Angel and Devil medals that we could have gotten back in Goating Kingdom. So be careful there. But otherwise, just do what you think is best otherwise. Obviously, I actually lost a Medabot here, which doesn't happen too often in this game, but ultimately, though, by now, if you're playing along especially, you've probably figured out how to judge enough situations by now that you can make your own part setup and fight through this as best on your own. I also wish I got a more climactic final hit, but oh well, you stubbed your toe, your head explodes, boom. And that's Shiratama. Dangerous, but doable. How can a god lose in his own world? Ask Kefka. Ow, 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 ow. A little weak for a king. Sorry, everyone. Come on, back we go, Shiratama. Well, that happened.
I just wanted to have some screen time.
Jeez. Hello again, Mr. Referee. Getting back on track! Let's continue with the award! Ikki, I honor your astounding achievement. In addition to that, we'll give you an exclamation mark medal as a prize for being the champion! And we get the exclamation mark medal, which is a very interesting one. All its stats start out equal. They're a bit low compared to where other Medabot medal stats start, but it's honestly good for anything you choose it to be for. Its Metaforces are pretty good too. It has the Kabuto Medal's Ultra Shot, the Monkey's Chaos, and the Mermaid's Life Drain Metaforce. Which, you know, a bit recycled, but it's best of all trades, really. Take it how you want to use it. Mind you, at this point, you're going to be using it mostly for multiplayer, but And I'm just going to name it the exclamation mark medal, though I was tempted to call it the Vim medal because Metal Gear referenced. We hope that you continue to enjoy the world of Medabots! Thank you very much! We also would like to apologize for any of the inconvenience you had to deal with before. Please accept these Medabots that he took from you! And now we forever get the parts of the Mega Emperor, Wonder Angel, and Bazelga lines. They once again have to show you that you got all 12 pieces individually, though. And that's the Partsun Rally. And everyone just kind of leaves, except for Koji. Huh. What, Koji? Creep me out a little. Karen wants to see you. You better go to her house. I've done my duty. Later. I really do feel like there's a certain respect that was built between the two of them during the game. What might that be? Obviously, if you're on the cat medal quest instead of the question mark medal quest like I've been the entire game, Erica will talk to you there and you'll go to your special place, which is actually the docks. But we better go see Karen and end off the question mark medal quest finally, because this is the only development it gets during the entire post-game. Good afternoon, it's Ikki. Please come in, and thankfully, she's actually here this time. Welcome, Mr. Ikki. Thank you. And, I don't see her dad anywhere. Weird. Good afternoon, Ikki. How are you feeling today, Karen? I'm feeling fine, thanks for asking. I was waiting for you to come. Waiting for me? I thought it would be nice if you could join my father and myself for a meal at the restaurant. My restaurant? Do you mean the best one in town? So will you come with me? You know, I have no reason to refuse free food. Really? I'm happy. My father's work's almost over. I'm going to call him to meet him at the restaurant. Sorry, my brain doesn't work sometimes with sentences. Wow, that was a really fast phone call. So, shall we go? As for where this restaurant we're going to is, we've seen it on screen before, but we've never entered it. You might remember where we encountered our first Rubber Robo kid back in the lower right screen of Medaropolis. It's this place. Excuse me. Are you with the Junmai party? He's been waiting for you. I'll show you to your table. Please follow me. Here's your table. You could have just looked right, you know. Hello. Thank you for inviting me. Hey there, Ikki. Don't hold back. Ooh, food. This looks so good. It's time to eat. I'm not doing mouth sounds like that. Ew, no. That was great. Karen, stop looking around. That's not good manners. Hurry and finish your food. Yes, Father. I forgive that's the voice I actually gave him. What the? Robo! Oh, you guys just had to show up one more time. Stop! Koji? In the Rubber Robo gang? I'm not just gonna let you eat for free. I haven't eaten yet. Ow. Yeah. Aha, a medal. It's mine. Stop. We've got trouble. Let's get on over there. Also, I recommend saving just for the last fight's sake. What? The Rubber Robo gang increased?
Which one of us do you think has the medal?
Koji? I don't know. Hey, Ikki, what do you think? I think you can actually choose whichever one you want. I think the team varies slightly. Let's do it. I'm doing my last fight, though, with you. But you don't have to say to you, Rubber Robo gang. Screw off.
I'm beaten. Forgive me and I'll give you this.
And we get a random Medapart. I don't know what that one's for. Was the medal there? Nope. Stop! Ikki. Hi, Karen. Koji never changes, does he? Sorry, somebody took your medal. It's okay, that was... Huh? Let's talk about it more at my house. Yeah, okay, but what about the medal? We'll talk later. As Karen said, please come to the house later. Sure, if you'll excuse me now. I'll pay by credit card. Thank you very much, sir. Rich people. It's a medal! No doubt it has to be Karen's. I've got to go bring it back to her. How convenient that it's right here. It's like the Rubber Robo dropped it, or maybe Koji mauled him like the man he is. Good afternoon, it's Ikki again. Let's go talk to Karen. Thank you for staying time with me today. The pleasure was all mine. Oh, and here's your medal. I'm happy you were able to take it back. It might sound strange after you got the medal back from me and all, but would you accept it as a gift? Really? Are you sure? I wanted to give it to you from the very beginning, actually. Thanks. And we lose Karen's medal, but we finally get the question mark medal. The has joined us. And the question mark medal is an interesting one as well. All of its stats are the same, starting off just like the exclamation mark medal, and they're all a bit low compared to other Medals' starting stats, but it's also still good for anything. The Metaforces are also a hodgepodge as well. The Penguin's full body repair, the Devil's Destroyer, and the Ninja's Protector. So it's an odd mix of damage and support, and I like it. Obviously, if you did the Cat Medal quest at this point, you'd be getting the Cat Medal quest over with Erica. And that is a bit more of a preferred medal in my case in terms of how it works, but I prefer Karen as a character over Erica. I've got to give you something in return. Don't trouble yourself. Because of it, we were able to talk again. I guess you're right. Of course I am. And that's the end of the quest. Pretty anticlimactic like that. Not even another ending image. But as for how the Cat Medal itself works, it starts with a high berserk and aim shot, low strike and shoot, and the rest with even lower stats than any other medal at that level starts off with. It's good for nearly anything, but it's probably the best attack medal in the game. Metaforces include the Mermaid's Total Recovery, Spider's Anti-Attack Trap, and the Alien's Dice Attack. Very, very good. And at this point, the game's over. The rest of the game just is you going from area to area, getting Medaparts and Medals. In particular, for the fixed medals, Medaparts, the Screws, Baron, Erica, Koji, and Karen are at their houses and will world battle you as many times as you want. I heard that you were the one to put a stop to this incident 7 years ago, Henry? I'd forgotten that. It was such a long time ago. I can tell you one thing. I was around the same age as you when it all happened. And I love Medabots, just like you. Henry? Obviously, I'm just going around talking just to get a good little bookend thing going on. There is one thing I cannot show off in this game, though, and it has to do with the fact I didn't play both versions simultaneously. More on that in a moment. Oh, it's you, Ikki. I heard that you were the champion of the Partsun Rally, but the Medabot world is much, much bigger than you know. You can't say you're a real meta fighter until you've fought with the meta fighters from all around the world. At this point, the game just becomes multiplayer. And let's take a look at our final totals. Just by going into our save menu. 20 medals, 362 Medaparts, out of a total of 30 medals and 480 Medaparts. Off the top of my mind, you get nothing for getting all 480 Medaparts aside from maybe a congratulations kind of message. However, the medals are a different story. First off, you can only get 20 of them max in one playthrough. The other 10 are gotten through different methods. I think Metabee itself has 7 exclusive medals. That brings us up to 27. The Cat medal will bring us up to 28, and then the choice medal, like I think the alien medal, or something like that, I forget which, brings you up to 29. The 30th medal is gotten a bit more specially. After you trade the 9 exclusive medals that you got in the other version over, you go to Dr. Ikki, and he basically goes, hey, you have all the medals except this one. Here's this one. And you get the final medal, the Botro medal, which is a pretty interesting one in that it has high stats in Berserk and Aim Shot, and low in everything else that's not defense and healing. So in a way, it's an odd combination of the Kuwagata and the Kabuto medal. It's pretty good, but at this point, all that's left would be multiplayer, which obviously I can't really show off. But with that, that is everything I can talk about with Medabots Rokusho. And at the end of the day, how is it? It's great. But that's about all I can say about it. It can be a bit unfair at times. The post-game, I wish had a bit more original content, even though the post-game itself is still fine enough. It's a nice little revisits in all the areas. And I wish the story was a bit better written and proofread, but it's still a very serviceable adventure. I still wish we got more of these games over here, but at this point, I don't think there's anything we can really do about that because they've shown that, the markets have shown at least, that the series just isn't very profitable over here. I recommend the game. I love it a lot. I recommend you guys play it yourself. Honestly, I'll probably put my opinions of it in much better wording during the actual story finale. But as for what's up next for my LPs, I have a certain habit that when a certain game starts getting uploaded, I start recording its sequel LP. And if you go back into the playlists, you can see what I'm talking about. What game came after my original Medabots videos, the main storyline? With that little hint out of the way, have a great night, take care, and we'll see you guys then.